it's Tiffany from Tiffany Colors. Today's video is going to be my completed pages for both November and December of 2023. I think the last video I filmed was October's, maybe September and October's completed pages, so I know it's been a while. I just don't have time to do these videos, but I love doing my completed pages videos, and I have quite the stack here to show you. I hope everybody had a great holiday. Today is December 31st, so it is literally the last day of 2023. So I thought how fitting to do my last video of the year on the last day of the year. And yeah, I've got quite a stack to show you of what I've been working on in November and December. A lot of Christmas pages. I was actually quite surprised I was able to do so much. There's a mixture of color by number and non-color by number, and they're all mixed through. And then at the very end, I will show you my iPad and what I've been coloring on that. So everyone stay tuned and I'll be right with you. Okay, the first book I want to show you is out of Rita Berman's My Journey Through Europe coloring book. I completed a page out of here, and it was this page. Now, I don't know if this was supposed to be a winter scene, but I kind of, with these flowers, I figured maybe it's just any type of season page. So I just took my Crayola colored pencils, and I think I also used I think I used another Crayola, another pencil too. My Faber Castels. I think it was a mixture of my Faber Castels and my Crayola colored pencils. I've been trying to get used to using my Faber Castels again. I don't usually gravitate toward those because honestly, I don't like the fact that they're really thick to hold in the hand. When you're coloring, I like a skinnier pencil, but I mean, I got those 2 or 3 years ago, and they're such an expensive pencil. I'm like, I've got to start using them. And they are hard lead, so they hold a nice point, and they're good for layering, and which is what I did here. I really had a great time doing this. I was into more of the harder pencils in December. You'll see some other completed pages from December where I was into layering a bunch of colors together to get different colors and experimenting. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with this one. Of course, there's also some white jelly roll for accents. I love the gradient in the sky and the color of the clouds. But yeah, sometimes these pages can be like super busy and you just don't know what colors to choose. That's why I like just picking up a color and just like, oh, let's see what this looks like on the page, and using a bunch of different colors. And I think it came out really well. I completed this one on December 3rd. Next up is a color by number, actually a color by color, Pattern Animals by Kira Shershniva. And I completed this one. I actually just finished this one the other night. This has been a long time whip. That's another thing. I'm trying to finish up some whips that I had going on. This one I did with my, it was a harder pencil. Oh, you know what? For Christmas, I had gotten a small set. I'll show you the box. Small set of Color colored pencils. And I wanted to try them out and see what they felt like on this smoother paper. And then I also had a white Prismacolor pencil for blending and burnishing. So anytime you have maybe like a budget-friendly pencil, I always suggest getting like a white Prismacolor because of the softness, and it helps blend those more budget-friendly pencils. But yeah, the color range in these Color 50 set was actually pretty good. I don't have my swatch sheet up here, but maybe in another video I can show you everything I got for Christmas. So yeah, I completed this on December 29th. I've got Entangled Christmas Coloring Book by Angela Porter. Hopefully there isn't too much of a glare. And I completed this page on December 17th. So I used my Taotree markers and my Staedtler Tri Plus fineliners. And I think I had a color palette. I'm pretty sure I had a color palette. And I think it was like 4 different colors. And I just went to town coloring. I like doing the line work in some areas and then solid next to it. I think it gives it a really cool texture and pattern. Angela Porter's pages are very busy as well, so sometimes I do like to limit myself to a certain color palette and then just go to town and have fun and do what I want. But yeah, so that one I completed on December 17th. Trying to finish this book. I've had this book for quite a few years. I thought maybe I could do it this Christmas. Nope. I only got 1 completed page done out of here, and it was this one, and I did it in November because I started to write 11 but didn't finish writing the date. This was with my Crayola Super Tips, and then I think I did shade a little bit with some probably just Starjoy colored pencils or some budget-friendly pencils, but yeah, so that's how that one turned out. No white gel pen or anything on there, just straight coloring. This one, oh, I did this one back in November, I remember. This one was a lot of fun. I had seen someone on Instagram do a page out of these Disney books using just pencils, and I'll show you. I think I posted this on my Instagram page. But I completed this page. And if you go to my Instagram, I show a three or 4 different pictures of the process of going about how to do this. But this was so much fun. I used my Artexx colored pencils, and I kind of just lightly outlined in a lighter colored pencil so I could see where my boundaries were. And then I kind of darkened out the edges and then faded them out. I think I might have used a white Prismacolor pencil too to help blend out the colors. But I absolutely love how this turned out. This was so much fun to do. I really want to do another one in here. I completed this on November 3rd. And yeah, so much fun. Once you get the hang of it and figure out where your colors are, which you can lightly trace around in the light colored pencil, then it's easy to just shade around the edges and figure out where you want your lighter spots to be. Super fun. I really enjoyed that one. All right, so the next one I worked in was Mosaic Art Landscapes, Color by Number by such and such Deva. And I did this page with my Crayola Super Tips. Very vibrant and colorful. I love using my Super Tips in these books because the paper is actually kind of glossy, and so it doesn't eat into your colors, doesn't soak up all that ink, but the vibrancy is so pretty. I completed this one on November 16th. Did a page out of Chibi Girls coloring book by Color Questopia. And in these books, I actually like the white background, not the black background, because I like doing the line work. And I always do the line work in like a gel pen, and you can probably see how that sparkles. I think I just used my Jelly Roll Metallics, and I kind of see what color is next to it and outline it in that color. So like 4 was pink, so I used a pink Jelly Roll. 6 was purple. I used a purple Jelly Roll. Here I thought I'd do a gold to really make him pop. And then usually for the facial features, I'll do black. But everything else is in colored Jelly Roll gel pen. So I do all the gel pen work first, because then it helps so that your alcohol markers don't bleed through the lines. I used my Taotree alcohol markers for this. and then I shaded it with my Artexx colored pencils, and I completed this one on November 23rd. So I have another page completed out of that book. Trying to complete some books so that get them off my bookshelf and I can always get new books. I only did one out of Love for Collection by Prachi Dewan Sachdeva. And it's this pattern page. I felt like doing a patterned color by number, which I have quite a few in here that I can choose from. This was done with my Crayola Super Tips. And I really like Prachi Dewan Sachdeva's colors that she chooses for her color by number. So it's always so vibrant and colorful. Both her and Sachin do a really good job with their color by numbers, I feel. The only problem is this paper loves to suck up your markers. So that's why I like doing my, using my Crayola Super Tips. And that way, cheap, I can just always go get another box of Super Tips from Target or Walmart if I run out. All right, trying to complete this one. I'm like one page away from completing this book, but I still couldn't finish it before the end of the year. I think I completed a couple of pages out of this book. Let's see. Oh, yeah, it was all the winter scenes, wasn't it? That was September. That one probably was September, so this is where I start. Oh, yeah, November 6th. Since these are double-sided, I use my Crayola Super Tips. I don't know if I said the name. So it's out of My Backyard Color by Number by Maggie Swanson. And I've been completing this from front to back, almost done. And so, yeah, I use my Crayola Super Tips, and then I shade it with, I think I used my Artexx colored pencils for this and just did a little light shading. And then this is actually a whip. I haven't finished this one yet because I haven't shaded it. And then I still have this one to do. So almost done with this book. Super cute book. If you guys don't have this book, you really should go get it. I love Maggie Swanson's artwork. And obviously it's a kid's color by number, but they're still so much fun. And I believe it was only like $4 or $5. So it's not all that expensive. And the paper in this is really good. It's smooth. It's not so much Amazon paper. It's like the nice Dover coloring book paper. Next up, oh, I think I did complete this book. Color by Number Christmas Mosaic by Sun Life Drawing. And I completed this on December 8th. This one I like to use a metallic gel pen too, so that it helps with the lines not bleeding over. And I used my Crayola Super Tips for this one, for the back of it. And then this one I did on December 10th. I obviously decided I'm going to do black outlines, which I really like the look of this as well. I did this with the black that I like to use, where's my pens, are these, because these Tombow Fudanowski, I don't know if you can see that, Tombow Fudanowski pens. They're kind of like just a black. I think there's one with a brush nib and then one with a stiffer nib. But anyway, these are really good for doing outlines. I also like to use these in my Disney Hatchet Heroes books because they don't bleed through to the other side, but yet they also don't bleed when you put alcohol marker next to it like some black pens do. So that's another reason I like using these in these types of books. So I believe you can pick those up at Walmart too. I've seen them at Walmart. Those Fudanowski. I don't know how to say it, but you know what I'm talking about. So December 10th, I completed that one. And then this one I completed also on December 10th. I went back to my gellyroll gel pen for the outline. And then I used my Taotree alcohol markers for the background. And there I am done with the book. So I have completely finished this book. I've had this book forever. So happy to finally get it off my shelf. Look at all the sparkle on that one. I don't know what gel pen I used there. But yeah, super happy to have this done. And maybe I will do a complete flip through of this and put it up on my Instagram. But yes, I can check off this book is done in 2023. All right, I worked out of Color by Number Fairy Houses by Alexander Francis. And I did this one. Okay, so this one I decided I thought I would, again, I was trying to use my Faber Castel Polychromos. And the paper on this isn't so bad. I mean, it's thin, but it's not super coloring book paper. So yeah. And oh, I think I did the background first. I started with the background. Really like how that came out with that kind of pattern, swirly pattern. And then I did the tree. It took forever. And then I came, and so I did the grass, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do the rest of the little bits in my Taotree markers. I think I might have used a few Ohuhus at this point, because they did bring down some Ohuhus. Brush markers. And then I shaded it with my Polychromos, and then white jelly roll for some accents. But yeah, I really like how this one came out as well. Just finished this one the day after Christmas, December 26th. So I just finished this one. Yep, really pretty. Love this book. I've done a lot on my iPad in this book because it goes a lot quicker coloring on my iPad, which I will show you at the end. But yeah, that was the only one I physically colored in this book in the last 2 months. All right, I had to work out of my Whimsy Girls Christmas by Hannah Lynn. I only pulled this out at Christmas time, and actually I don't think I even worked in it last Christmas at all. So I was happy to get a page completed this Christmas. And it was this girl, the Baker Girl, which she does have a name. Holiday Baking is her name. I found a color palette on Pinterest that I wanted to use. And then this is how she turned out. I really like the background. So I based this all. Well, I thought I did. I guess I just did the background in alcohol marker. So obviously I did her skin tone and her dress and all the other little bits with my Prismacolor. I like using Prismacolor pencils in my Hannah Lynn books. They just blend together so good, and they're really good for doing skin. And I hadn't done skin in quite a while, so I had to practice on how to do my skin combos once again. I had to pull out my little combo book and figure out which skin tone I wanted to do. But yeah, really like how she came out. I love her dress. I love her little apron. I love the little doodads around her. Super cute. I finished this one on December 16th. I did a page out of Country Christmas Coloring by Teresa Goodrich. And I completed this page. Now this, again, I had a color palette, a soft pastel-y color palette. And yeah, I really love how this one came out. I'm so glad I was able to get a page completed out of this book as well. I don't think I was able to work in it last year. I did base it all in Taotree markers and then shaded it with, I think I shaded it with my Polychromos. I'm pretty sure that's what I did. Maybe a few Prismacolors, but I think it was mostly my Polychromos. But yeah, I really like the color combo that I used for this. I love the teal stove and the pink accents. I don't usually think of pink and teal in a Christmas page, but this really does work. I think I had put into Pinterest like Christmas color, pastel Christmas color palettes or something like that, and this one popped up, and I was like, oh my god, yes, that's what I want to use. White jelly roll for accents. And I completed this one on December 15th. All right, I worked out of Kawaii Coloring Book by Alexander Francis, and this is the travel size. And I had to do the Santa page, which I completely forgot that there was seasonal pages in this book till I was up in my room one day flipping through books. I'm like, oh my God, I have to do this page. I wish I had remembered about this page for Halloween, but I'll have it for next year. I love this travel size too because you're not using up so many markers on all this space. I hope, Alexander, if you're listening, come out with your color by number, like fairy houses or any of your color by numbers in these small travel size. I know it probably is hard because then the numbers would be even smaller, but I would love to have a travel size color by number. Or if any of you know that there's one out there like that, please leave me a message and let me know, because it doesn't eat up all my markers. And you can still shade and you can still do all kinds of cute little accents. Okay, so I used my Taotree art markers as a base. And then I went over it with, I'm pretty sure, my Polychromos. Because again, in December, I was trying to use my Polychromos more and more and get reacquainted with them. Maybe some Artexx. There might be some Artexx colored pencils in here too. Oh, maybe some Prismacolors. Any of those three, I'm sure, is in here. But yeah, super. I liked my colors that I chose. I just randomly chose colors. I don't think I had a color palette for this one, but this was a lot of fun. So I got to work out of this book some more. All right, I worked out of 50 wintertime mandalas. I had really a lot of fun going through my Christmas books and picking pages and just flipping through the books. That's what's fun about doing the different seasons. You can pull out all those books that you'd forgotten about for the rest of the year and really get reacquainted with your books. All right, so I did this poinsettia page. And the middle is all done. Look how shiny that is. That middle is all done with my Faber Castels. And I layered and layered and layered. And yeah, on this paper, it took a lot of layers. But anyway, really like how that came out. Started with that. And then I was like, okay, I'm not doing this whole thing in color pencils. So then I went and got my Taotree markers and picked a color palette to go with the leaves. And yeah, I really like again, the teal and the pink. See, I was on a teal and pink kick this month. And then there's some jelly roll metallic in there around the circle and in those little spots. But yeah, white jelly roll for accents. Had a lot of fun doing this one. And I'm glad I was able to complete another page of this book. And I completed this on December 6th. We're getting there. Just a few more books to go. All right, I pulled out my Creative Christmas Coloring Book by Marjorie Sarnett. I've had this for quite a few years and really don't work out of it much. So I'm happy to have completed a page here. Now here is where I pulled out my Crayola colored pencils. I just have like a jar of them. Maybe I can show you random colors. Here it is. This is my jar of random colors, and I would just pick a color and just start coloring, and then I'd pick another color, and I just kind of went with it. And I absolutely love how the colors blended and layered one on top of each other. I don't know, I just got in the zone. Oh, I love this sky too here, and how the shadows on the snow. I did use some jelly roll metallic in gold to kind of outline each postcard. I think these are all postcards or Christmas cards. But yeah, I just kind of randomly picked up colors and just started layering, and I really like how this one came out. This is when I started thinking, because I did this November 26th, yeah. And so I was like, okay, I got to start digging out my harder pencils and see what other pages I can do just by layering and blending, and what colors can mix together just by layering instead of burnishing really hard like I would normally do with my Prismacolors. And I did a light pressure. It took a while. It did take quite a while to do, but it was so much fun. So I completed that one on November 26th. Then I worked out of Dessert Mandalas coloring book by Alexander Francis. This was for a hashtag. I think it was Amanda Colors. She had a color palette challenge, her monthly color palette challenge. And so I went and picked out my Ohuhu markers that she had suggested to use for this color palette. And if you go to my Instagram, there's like 3 different pages, process pages. And I show with just straight marker work until it's all done with marker. And then another one with a little bit of shading. And you can just tell with that little bit of shading how much it makes it pop. And then with the white jelly roll accents, makes it pop even more. That's why I love, my favorite type of coloring is marker base, pencil shading, because you're not having to color in that whole complete area. You're just shading around the edges, and then the white accent. That is probably my absolute favorite way to color. It's quick, it's easy, it looks great, it looks finished, it looks professional. Absolutely love it. So I finished this on November 10th. 2 books to go, this one and another one. All right, so then I worked out of my Christmas Color by Number by George Dufexis. And I did this page. This I did, I think I used my Taotree and my Ohuhus, a little bit of both. And then I just went and took my Staedtler Tri-Plus fineliners and went in and like outlined to make the lines pop a little bit more. Oops, sorry, I bumped you. And it kind of gives a little bit of a shading look to it by doing the line work. Just gave a little bit of accent. And then I also used white jelly roll to accent out some places. But yeah, this was fun. I completed this one on November 15th. And of course, these are always very detailed. Takes me a while to do these two, so I only get one done per season. But yeah, it was fun. Okay, now my last book I have to show you, which I am so excited that I finally took out this book. And she is coming out with if you haven't heard, she's coming out with a second printing of this. I'm not sure when, but you guys will be able to get this book now. It has not been printed for quite a few, I think a couple of years, and so yeah, you've got to go get this book when it comes out. Anyway, so this is probably my favorite coloring book, and I never really work in it, it's sad to say. I colored this girl. So I completed her on November 22nd, and she was done with, the background is watercolor. I was trying to figure out some watercolor. I don't usually use watercolor that much. And I think it's because I usually work in books that don't have very thick paper. I usually work in Amazon books. But since this has thicker paper, I was like, well, I'll dig out my watercolors, at least to a background. So I started with a background, did that. Then I did some shading with I think it's my Artexx. I think I was using my Artexx colored pencils still at this point. And then the rest of hers done in colored pencils. I did have a color palette for this. And then I felt like the snowflakes were getting lost in the picture. So I actually outlined them, I don't know if you can see, in a metallic jelly roll gel pen. And yeah, I really like how this came out. Oh, white jelly roll for the snow. Yep, she's done. I wasn't really sure. I've contemplated doing her so many times in the past, and I just could not figure out what colors to do. And then I saw this color palette one day, and I'm like, oh, that would be good for the Snow Queen. I didn't want her to look too icy. So she's got some warmth in the middle, but then the icy cool is all around her. Really like how this side came out. Excuse me. So like I said, to finish this one on November 22nd. So I have another page completed out of this book. All right, guys. Now, I can move all these books. Now I will show you what I've been doing on my iPad. Now let's see if I can prop this up so we don't get too much of a glare. Whoops. Let me get in here. Pull up Procreate. Okay, so here's all my completed pages for November and December. So this page here was a free page from Dover. If you sign up for their newsletter, every Friday they send you samples of coloring books pages. And so this was one of the samples. I email it to myself and then I put it on Procreate. And I think I had a color palette for this. I believe I did. Again, was going for more softer colors. Let's see if I can turn it this way. Oh, it's hard for me to do this and not show the glare, but yet get the whole picture, get the whole image in. There we go. Yeah, fun. I did have a lot of fun with this. I do a little bit of shading. There's a video on my channel if you want to see how I color on my iPad, and I show all the brushes I use. This is another one. This was out of Alexander Francis Fairy book. No, Fairy Houses. Jeez, couldn't think. And I pick a color palette for these, so I have them all ready to go on my. See, I was working on the Prachi Dewan Sachdeva one, so that's up there. But I have a color palette for all my different coloring books, color by number books. So then they're saved on here, which is nice. So then because I really love these colors that I chose for her color palettes. Here's another one I did. Another Alexander Francis one out of her fairy houses. They're so quick and easy to do them on my iPad. And you don't need to drag all your stuff out, right? You can just sit with your iPad and color. And if you make mistakes, you can erase them easily. This is from Prachi's 4 books in 1 that I have. And this is her Christmas one, Christmas mandala maybe, or Christmas patterns or something like that. So that's that one. This was the only one I did out of Sachin's, the Chibi Christmas that he came out with this year. This is the only one I got to. I actually did this on December 25th. I was like, well, today's Christmas. I might as well do a Santa page. So yep, did that one. And then this one was a whip for a really long time. This was out of my George Tufexis summer book. And I mean, for like months, this has been a whip. So I was like, I'm finishing this. I think I only had like the bottom area to do. And yeah, love the colors that I choose for these books as well. And it's so easy to do. I've said this before, but these George Tufexis books where they're so detailed, you can literally like zoom right in to color, which makes it so much nicer. And then the last one I did was this pattern one. So this was another free one. I did this one on December 25th as well. So this was a free one that Dover put out. I think it's from the Tessellations Patterns ones or something. And there was 4 of them I think I downloaded from that book that I liked. So yeah, and I picked a color palette and just went to town. Super fun. So yeah, those are all of my completed pages on my iPad. So that is all that I have to show you for the months of November and December. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching till the end. This was a lot of books to show, but I'm happy now to be putting these back on the shelf and we're ready for some January coloring. All right, guys, I hope you have a great new year. I'll see you in 2024. Bye-bye.